And here we are. Welcome to another week of the Teacher's Room. We meet here in iTDi. We meet every Tuesday night and every Friday night. The Tuesday nights are basically a one-on-one where I get to have fun interviewing a teacher. And then the Friday nights are a little more collaborative, talking about a specific topic each month. Tonight, I am thrilled to have my friend from a few years ago, and most recently we met in Japan, and that was a lovely day. I have a nice memory of that. And it's Heike Philp from, are you in Belgium now?
Actually, I'm in Athens today, funny enough,
Okay.
following a conference, the Image Conference, the last weekend that took place here. So I'm staying a few more days and visiting South Athens and other people.
Yeah, have you been to Athens many times, or is this new?
4 years ago, I attempted a Delta in Athens in a 6-week intensive, well, it was the Delta Module 2, and in a 6-week intensive course here, and it was 45 degrees, and that was my last memory I had. After that, everything kind of switched off.
Yeah, ouch. Wow. So you're going to stay a couple more days?
Yes, until Friday.
And then are you doing work, or are you hanging out, or what are you doing?
I'm actually going to visit a teacher who's been very, very active in Second Life together with me. We've worked closely together. So it's in Lamia, which is tomorrow, and Thursday I'm traveling to Lamia, which is about a 3-hour bus journey there. And then on Friday I'll meet Marissa again here at South Athens. Fantastic, wonderful collaboration with her. Really.
How long have you known Marissa?
Many, many years. Mostly online, and then obviously I did the Delta with her, which was an online Delta, partly online Delta, and it was a great learning experience. Although I never finished the Delta itself, but I got a teaching certificate out of it. So
that's good. Do you think the Delta suited you or just didn't suit you? Oops, sorry, just a minute. I've somehow, your audio's gone. How about now? No. Can you check if you're muted on your screen? If you put your cursor on your screen, you should see if you're muted or not. Yeah, we've lost your sound. On my screen, it says it doesn't say that you're muted. It's up in the top right corner of your picture. No. How's your sign language? Use the chat. Oh, you're back. You okay? So Heike is going to come back in, and hopefully that will renew her. Hi, James. Nice to see you. We're just waiting for Heike to come back in. Her sound disappeared suddenly. Heike is a teacher that I'm working with right now. She's doing with the iTDi course, and she has an online expert. So she's coming back in just a moment. And we have Anne here as well. There she is.
So
hi, Heike. I'm hearing you now. Good.
And is it working fine, just like before?
It is working fine, just like before.
Excellent.
So I was just asking you about the Delta. Do you think it didn't really suit you, or what do you think?
I'm actually pursuing a similar pedagogical degree to become a teacher of German.
Oh.
Yeah, it's also a 1.5-year course. It's very similar to the Delta. Yeah. And I just simply decided that this might be a better choice for me because I'm German and I would like to teach German abroad. And so as an English teacher, that wouldn't have really worked.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. Are you doing that course in German or in English?
In German, and
Oh,
it's from the Goethe Institute.
yep. I know the Goethe. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So how many languages do you speak?
I speak French quite a bit because my company is based in Brussels.
Okay.
I speak Italian a little bit more fluently because I was in Italy for a while and I'm working closely with Italy.
Yeah.
Then English, German, obviously, and Japanese. 私の日本語はでもこのぐらい大丈夫ですと思いますけれども。
それでも素晴らしい。こんなに長い間あんまり使ってない。So you haven't been
そう
using
です。
Japanese for many years.
全然使ってないもん。
Yeah, that's right. But it's really cool that you're able to still spit some of it out, which is really nice. So how about, and these are questions I've never really asked you before, but give us a little history of Heike Philp and when you got interested in languages or when you got interested in teaching, when you got online. Take your time. You can fill the whole 20 minutes we have remaining if you like, but just tell us your voyage.
Well, I'm not the youngest anymore, so you can imagine that my teaching history is quite long. So,
I have no idea.
no, but
You
I
are.
actually, it was my first wish, my only wish when I was young to become a teacher. And I started in Heidelberg to do a teacher training, well, at university. And at that time, they didn't encourage us to pursue it because there were too many students, too few jobs. So they told us you will never get a job. And so I stopped it, sadly. Kind of regretted it afterwards, but never mind. The next teaching experience I then enjoyed was in Japan. And in Japan, I taught German for a year and so thoroughly enjoyed it that I said, this is my dream job. Um,
How did you choose Japan out of all the
out of all
places?
the countries. Well, I studied social science then as a sort of compensation. And at the end of my studies, China was an opportunity that opened up back then to the first time ever somebody could enter China. We as students back then, we used that opportunity to go to China, didn't really like it, and somehow got some flight tickets and ended up in Japan and ended up staying not 2 weeks as planned, but 1 year. As life happens sometimes.
Yeah.
And really, really enjoyed it.
And so you were in Japan for a year and then decided to go back to Europe.
Yeah, and I then married an Englishman. We spent some 5 years in England, and that time also I taught German for 5 years continuously. Really enjoyed that again. And my husband, he decided to move to Germany, which for me dropped me into a dead zone because as a teacher of German without any degree, I was no longer able to pursue my dream job, which then led me to teaching online eventually because of my big dream to be able to teach Japanese. That was the bridge I had to have, So a
Wow.
virtual classroom technology, when I heard about this, that was it for me.
So I'm trying to put in my brain how much internet was there at that time? How much was anybody teaching online? It seems like you were one of the pioneers.
Well, it was the usual dial-up, and it was from the beginning we had huge difficulties. We didn't even have Skype then.
Of course.
We used virtual classroom technology that was affordable. There was not much choice because the rest was so expensive. So eventually I learned how to cope with the technology. I then started a language school also because many of my clients wanted English training and I didn't feel qualified to provide English training. So I looked for English teachers who would then teach the clients and connected them both technically, which led to a very, very successful live online language school, and the first one in Germany.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And so
Second one
what,
worldwide. No, sorry, second one in Europe and fourth worldwide.
wow. And how you, so you said it was all dial up at that point. Um, was it was it easy and natural for you to learn the online world, or was it a big struggle for you?
Well, the one provider I had, I offered this provider to do their European support in the hopes to meet other clients and share the problems, because I had huge problems and I had nobody really to talk to about. So I thought, okay, I'll provide the European support for this software in Europe in order to find out what the other issues are. Only surprised to be that I was the only one in Europe who was using the system.
Yeah. And
How did I solve the problem? A lot of trial and error. Once we had an issue with the software that had to do with operating systems of computers in different languages other than English. You know, the system ran fine on an English computer, but we in Europe, with a Spanish operating system or a German operating system, we had these problems. And once the provider did and through dial-up of one of my Spanish teachers, it took us a marathon of 16 hours to find the problem. 16 hours.
yeah,
She
yeah.
had to be constantly online for 16 hours. It was
Wow.
2 times sort of 8-hour brackets that until they found the problem. And it was a translation problem of the program.
Huh. Now, do you see the chat on your screen?
I do, and I'm just looking at it. How
Yeah,
did I
take a,
manage materials when you were teaching online with dial-up connections? Well, the material from the start was kind of PowerPoint, but we had to learn to create interactive material that would be, let's say, you could do something with it. I can't tell you now sort of offhand how we solved it, because the teachers were very inventive. But what was the biggest problem was a lag in the voice. So you spoke to somebody and only 2 or 3 seconds later were they able to respond. And this in a dialogue. It was difficult.
yeah.
But the technology improved and speed as well.
Mm-hmm. Um, so you have a reputation among all the people I know of being one of the most relaxed, calm, nothing phases you when you're working online. And now, was that something you learned immediately? I mean, I learned that from you as well, that for 4 years I've been doing the Adobe room, and just I get calmer with every year because of realizing how important. But I'm curious with you, how did how long did it take you to learn that? And is that your default kind of personality, or tell us?
No, that really comes with time, to be honest. And as you said, Stephen, in the beginning, one is very nervous. And I've done so many things wrong. I couldn't believe it. And but this comes with age and time, I guess. I'm getting more relaxed.
Yeah. And that seems to be like a ripple in the lake. If you get panicked, everybody else starts panicking, and if you stay calm, everybody's, oh, okay, this is calm. Yeah. I think my favorite one so far was when the young lady Olga was it, from Turkey, was presenting for us, and the entire power in her entire building went off. and and she was able to telephone me and say, I just lost the power. And I said, can you reboot your computer? And she said, no, I lost the whole building of power. Just one sec.
So that was internet and everything, because the battery power would last a little bit of the laptop, wouldn't it? But without internet, that's it.
Sorry about that. What were you saying?
I said when the internet goes, there's nothing you can do. How long did it take her to come back?
10 minutes. That's all.
Wow.
Yeah,
So what
very
did you
lucky.
do in these 10 minutes?
I just talked and said I got a nice phone call from Olga, and she's working it out, and so we're just gonna review just for a moment, and let's talk about some other things. My heart was pounding, and
Hmm.
we had 100 people in the room. It was one of the earlier days, and it was miraculous that she came back. How about
Well,
you? Tell us a
I
tell us
do
a horror.
some support every now and again, and there was a professor at a university who had one of their students present, and the student dropped out. Well, it happens, during the
Yeah.
presentation. And then the professor continued the presentation with the slides of the students.
Oh,
And I was rather upset about this one. She couldn't understand why I was upset about it. I said, you can't do that. You have to wait for her. How can you continue with her slides, the presentation? Oh, but I know what she's want to talk about, so I can continue.
right,
Mm,
right.
not the really nice way to deal with this. Yeah.
So let's move on. I'm looking at the time going, oh my God, I'm losing you in another 10 minutes or so. But tell us a little bit about, we're now working together on this teaching online with Heike Philp. Now, uh, I know a little bit, but tell us a little bit how that came about and what your vision for that course might be beyond even this first generation of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, the following my language school success, which was around 2003, 4, and so forth, I initiated an EU-funded project because I had back then I had 20 plus teachers, hundreds of students in throughout Europe. My teachers kept asking, how do I teach online? And I was not able to do anything else but technical support. I had no pedagogical or didactical recommendations for them. And so I initiated this project, which was a larger project with universities and commercial partners, took 2 years, and out which came the Lancelot course, which was language learning with certified live online teachers course, a 120-hour course with a big part with intercultural competence, lots of technology, in order for the teachers to learn how to teach online. When I offered this course on the free market over a period of, I think, 5 to 6 years, it was slow at the start, but we eventually started selling it. We eventually started creating um, teachers and sorry, Lancelot certified teachers.
Hmm.
And I would like to just read to you one thing which is absolutely wonderful, which I received this week
Oh, that's
from
great.
a friend, somebody who was part of this first initial Lancelot course. And in 2009, this person created his online language school in France. And this is what he told me when he saw the advertisement for teaching online with Heike Philp. He said, "Hi Heike, so pleased to receive the publicity about your new teaching online course. I have forwarded it to all my English on the net colleagues. Lancelot was exactly what I needed to launch my business in 2009, and I haven't looked back. Business still going well, although I've had to pull out of training for health reasons, and I'm focusing entirely on translation for the time being, in addition to managing the business and my great team of trainers. All the best, Heike, and best regards." So lovely to hear,
It's
because
wonderful.
also
Hey?
for some business reasons, I was not able to offer the Lancelot course since 2011, and so this is my first opportunity after a long time to be able to go online again with my huge amount of know-how in this field.
Mm. So you see that we see a lot of activity in China now with this company called VIP Kid. And they have, it's almost like a pyramid system where they bring in teachers who bring in more teachers. and it's a huge, huge market of primarily one-to-one online teaching, but some group teaching with with a facilitator in the classroom and a native speaker. But I'm wondering, do you have any information about how this teaching online is happening throughout Europe or in any other parts of the world?
Well, VIP Kids is in China, is that
Yes,
correct?
yes. It's
Well,
very big. Yeah.
yeah, it's oh wow. And I was approached at iTDi.pro by another company very similar to that, was called ABC, say ABC, and they also are teaching children, and you can see some videos how they do it. They said to me that they're looking for 500 online teachers at the moment. They're recruiting 500 online teachers. That is how large the demand is.
Yeah.
I've not been able to see it by myself. I'm
Mm.
very, very keen to do so. And obviously, I'd like to, I've been in an email contact with, say, ABC for the time being, just saying that I'm training this course now, and definitely the best teachers I would like to recommend to them. Yeah, and they apparently pay also very well.
Yeah.
So that would be a wonderful opportunity for some to even get work, I
Yeah.
hope. You
Yeah.
know,
Now there's
I'm looking at Anne, who's invisible,
yeah.
who's the experienced young learner teacher now at the moment.
Yeah.
And we'll send you over to China. Don't worry.
But she's not now. She's
Virtually.
saying she's not online. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. But she's curious. So I will actually, Heike, I'll send you, and anybody else who's interested, I'll send you a link because I actually watched a couple of videos from
Yeah.
VIP Kids teachers, and they were explaining the system. They were explaining the pay, the salary, the pay scale. It's a formula. But this one woman is now, she started out in the first month she made $1,000 and she went up to 2,000 after that. Now she's recruiting and training and kind of mentoring teachers, getting referrals, and she said she's making between $3,000 and $4,000 a month. She does it wherever her time zone is in the States. She gets up and she teaches Chinese from 4 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a 3 hours a day, and that's supplemented her income, and she can then carry on and have her regular day and just try to get to bed early so she can get up and do it again at 4 in the morning. So it's really quite interesting, and I'll send you her video because it's actually 13 minutes long, the video. And I was thinking it takes about 5 seconds to explain how much money you make, but she kept my interest for the full 13 minutes. And I thought it was a real testament to her ability to engage people with her own techniques. I watched a couple of others that were not nearly as interesting. So I've been kind of studying.
I read a couple of these. They recommend, there's some teacher sites where they recommend schools.
Yeah.
And say ABC didn't come off all that well.
Right, right.
So you have to really read these peer reviews before you actually go and start working for a school.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to find out, really. And we hope that the trainees of this course teaching online will also give us feedback, how they're getting on, how they're getting paid, so that we can recommend schools or not.
So would you like to do this course again if it works out for you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so much enjoying it.
Yeah. It seems like it could be, your chance to take your many years of experience and pass it on to people. And, at the very least, everybody in our first session could see how much was happening all at once, trying to get everybody working, but how calm you stayed throughout the whole thing, and you left a good impression with everybody throughout the whole thing, mostly through your patience. You must have been ready to collapse at the end of it because it's just juggling so much all at once.
Well, this is what we will get into a little bit in the week 2, is
Yeah,
how to run online events. Because when you teach online, you mostly one-to-one or small groups. But when you run online events and you deal with several people, like crowds of people, and you have to introduce a presenter to this medium, that's where it starts getting really interesting.
yeah. Yeah, and again, it's just learning. You've learned all the mistakes from having made many of the mistakes yourself, and then helping talk people through solving their problems as well. So that seems like it's just going to take people time to build up that
Mhm.
experience. So
And
last
now I'm,
last
I'm
question. Go ahead.
I'm very much afraid, but I'll have to go soon.
Yep,
Yeah,
I'm going
soon
to just do
means
our
five
last
minutes.
question.
We still have 5 minutes.
Yep.
But what I'm happy to do, if you like, is I'm happy to come back next week the same time to do the rest of the interview.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I've already got somebody booked next week. We'll just put you up and
Okay.
have you come back when I'll look for a space in the schedule. But just as a last question, I usually ask people, what are you interested in these days, either personally or professionally? What's kind of something that's got your interest?
Well, for that matter, is with video conferencing, because I did it so many years ago, there was quite a long span of some 10 years of research and development in a field that is very, very down to my heart, which is the field of 3D environments. Yeah, virtual worlds, virtual games, and everything that allows people to enter an environment where they can talk in real time. And virtual worlds, they lend themselves beautifully, not to all age groups. Yeah, so it's a matter of having to select some for children, some for teenagers, some for adults. But I absolutely love and adore virtual worlds and environments, and I think they provide beautiful opportunity to learn in an immersive way, communicative, and with the added value of being able to go to places, to experience things, to build, to build together, to meet people from other countries. So this is an area which is still future. As I said, I've done research and development, again in EU-funded projects. So that's still in future, the way to learn, hopefully in future. Perhaps after we get our Google avatar, which
Yeah,
I'm predicting we will get that one in the next 10 years. And then with the Google avatar, we'll be walking the streets of Italy, Florence, and then we'll be hearing some Italian, and we'll be
yeah,
learning Italian there virtually. And
yeah,
Japanese in Tokyo and things like that.
yeah.
And
And
what I'm particularly,
that's since I
sorry,
met you, you were quite interested in that. It's great that it's really held your interest for a few years, hey?
yeah, absolutely. And now this year, I've been very much involved in learning everything about virtual reality, because it's such a beautiful opportunity of immersive learning again. Yeah, it's still new to technology, and I own an HMD and head-mounted display and Oculus Rift, and I'm looking for teachers who would meet me online with one of those clunky goggles,
Yeah.
and in order to experience some of the worlds that are
Mm.
part of this fun.
Well, when we put this up on YouTube, I will put that call out that you're looking for people with
I've
one
been
of those.
tweeting it. I've been talking to people. I've been, please, anybody out there, please.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's wrap it up there. I know you've got another thing going, so I want to say thank you very much. It's just so fun and easy talking with you. We'll definitely have you back for another 30-minute segment whenever we can schedule it, okay?
Thank you. And I'm sorry I've scheduled this
That's
only
okay.
for 30
Yep,
minutes,
yep, that's okay.
but I promise to be back and could maybe finish the
Yep,
interview if that's still needed.
sure.
Thank you
Okay,
so much. Bye
see
for
you.
now, Stephen.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, we've got Svetlana, and we've got Barbara, and we've got James. Hi, everybody. I think what I'm going to do is end this meeting, and then I'm going to open it. Oh, stop the recording. That's all I need to do. Stop the recording.